Governor Newsom decided not to close the beaches and other places other than Orange County. So I'm wondering what you would be looking for in terms of measurables to reopen LA beaches and what that might look like in terms of how to do that safely going forward.
A few things I would be. One is to make sure people aren't loitering on the beaches, making sure that we have so much territory on the beaches that anything we do with an opening is enforceable enough so that people don't begin to spread by, tanning, hanging out, staying too long. I think we've seen countries like Australia where they've opened up beaches from 6 to 9 in the morning for exercise. That's a great first step. I saw in San Diego a much more careful approach. But this is something that I think the beach cities, including Los Angeles and all the other cities from Long Beach all the way up to Malibu, should make together. Second, we should do that on the advice of Los Angeles County Public Health, which still does not advise that we open those, and we do, not in respect to the previous question, we take that advice and follow that. And I think it's very important for us, finally, to make sure as we do this that we assess things. If you just open it up and everybody can go, I think that's a dangerous way to do it without any restrictions. But why not take a couple baby steps in the weeks that are ahead, as I've said, the 2 to 6 weeks from now, where we can get the beach cities lined up, we have the law enforcement lined up, we have the regulations clear, we communicate it to the public, and we don't rush to do this. I'd rather go slower and do it right than rush and find out 3 weeks later we've done it wrong and we're telling people you got to go back indoors because we screwed up. That's not fair to anybody. My goal is to get people safely back to those public spaces, not just beaches, but some of our parks like Griffith Park, et cetera. And we're doing a lot of really hard work within the city and also with working groups across cities and within LA County. And I do think LA County is a real example of how that is working well together. I know for some they might see beaches are open, why can't we be that county? Say, because the advice of our public health folks is not yet, but we're getting closer.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.